Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and this is a used book haul part 1 for August of 2025. So I've got a pretty good stack of books here and also a stack next to it of books that I picked up used between used library book sales and just used bookstores. I've been able to get, I think, some pretty good finds. And, you know, it's, I know I'm bringing a lot of books out of the house and I got to somehow either learn to read a lot quicker or I got to maybe give myself a book buying ban for a little while just to catch up. I'm debating on some of these things, or at least just not go seek out the used book deals. I don't know. I haven't decided yet how I want to handle this, but I've got a lot of books. So first I figured I'm splitting them into two parts. I did this again. I did it similarly about a month or so ago. I'm going to do first the fiction books that I've found for the first video, and then I'll look at the nonfiction books in the second part. So I haven't read any of these. These are all new to me. I'm not going to talk a lot about them. Just going to kind of show you, maybe talk about why I picked them up. And yeah, if you have any information you can give me about them, love to hear it. So for the first one, I picked up a Penguin Classic of Thomas Hardy, Tess of the D'Urbervilles. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I've just kind of always been interested in Thomas Hardy. I don't know a lot about him. But when I look at the kind of books that he writes, he just always seemed like he'd be a really intriguing writer. And yeah, this is kind of one that's always been on my radar. So if you could tell me what you think of it, if you've read it, yeah, I'd like to hear it. I also found this. So Neil Gaiman's Coraline. And I've talked about this in previous videos. I know that Neil Gaiman is maybe not a great human being, but I know that he is a very important writer, especially for the modern world. His writing has meant a lot of things to a lot of people. So I do want to still get to know him as a writer. And Coraline, this was like my daughter's favorite movie for a long time when she was young. When she was probably like 3 years old or 4 years old, she watched Coraline. She said, "That was scary. Can I watch it again?" And she would just watch this thing on repeat over and over again. So I know the movie very well. I'm like stuttering today. I don't know why. I know the movie very well. So I'm interested to check out the book. So maybe for middle grade March, I'll, give it a quick read. I don't think it's going to take me very long. And I found this. I was supposed to find this in a decent hardcover. This is Gods and Generals, a novel of the Civil War by Jeff Shaara. So this is the prequel to The Killer Angels, which was written by Shaara's father. I've read The Killer Angels, and I thought that was really good. I like that one quite a bit. And I had seen, of course, the movie based on this, Gods and Generals, which is awful. The movie Gettysburg, based on Killer Angels, is fine. It's a decent movie. It's not perfect, but overall, it does an okay job of showing the Civil War. It's engaging enough, especially if you're a history nerd like me. You don't mind the long runtime. And I really do like Jeff Daniels as Joshua Chamberlain. I think that those scenes are great. Now, Gods and Generals, that movie turned into a lost cause travesty. It's a terrible movie. It's boring. It's inaccurate. It is really kind of lost cause propaganda. And Jeff Shaara, I've seen in interviews, is not happy with that movie. He says that is not the book that I wrote. And I have heard from, people whose knowledge and opinion I appreciate, who also don't like the movie, have recommended that the book is still really good and worth reading. So I'm glad to find it. And yeah, again, I was surprised to find a nice, pretty decent condition hardcover. It's just a little one. So David Seltzer, The Omen, which I think this is an adaptation of the script. I don't think this was a novel at first. The Omen is a movie I've always liked. I'm usually not too much into I'm a lifelong horror movie fan, but I don't gravitate generally towards like Satan movies, or especially not demonic possession movies, except for The Exorcist. I think The Exorcist is a masterpiece. Most of the other ones are pretty awful. But The Omen I've always really liked. There's that poem, sets armies on either shore, fighting man against his brother until man exists no more. I probably butchered that, but it always really struck me, and I always liked it. It was a nice classic feel to it. You got Gregory Peck in there. I think it's a solid horror film. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, this maybe something I'll read. I don't know, maybe October. I got a whole bunch of other horror behind me that I need to get to, but put it in the collection, and I'll get to it at some point. And this is a copy that, see, is this from the 1970s? Yes, this is from 1976, when the movie came out. I picked up this. I don't remember why I picked it up. Or I should say, I mean, I know why I picked it up, because I had read something about it at one point, and it somehow stuck in my mind. So I recognized it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That was something I wanted to look into deeper, and I saw it sitting there for like $1, so I picked it up. So Under the Adula Trees by Chinelo. I'm not going to try and say that because I'm going to butcher it. But I know that it's, yeah, I just know it takes place in Nigeria. I think it has to do with two girls or women, I don't know how old they are, falling in love. And other than that, I don't know much about it. But I remember reading something really good about it, and when I saw it at the used bookstore, I'm like, yeah, great. And it's like, really, it's in, nobody read it. This is in unread condition. This is in completely new condition. And we got this. So, The Last Wish. Again, I don't know how to say this. Andrzej Sapkowski, maybe. Apologies for all the different names that I'm destroying. But yeah, this is the first of the Witcher books, which I think this is like short stories that contain The Witcher. Yeah, I've always wanted to read the Witcher books. I've never played the games. I'm not really a video gamer at all. I did watch, well, I watched like the first 2 seasons of the Netflix series, and it got, it really fell off. But the early stuff that I think was really more closely based on the books, I thought was really intriguing. I know it kind of brings in aspects of almost like Slavic folk horror and things like that, and that really intrigues me. So yeah, it's a series I've always wanted to dive into, and when I saw it at the used bookstore, I thought, yeah, awesome, let me get it. And the last 2 I have are also fantasy. So I have the first of this trilogy, The First Law, which you can't see, it's off screen over there. And I found the other 2. They're not perfect condition, but they're good enough. So this is Joe Abercrombie. Here's Before They Are Hanged. You see there's like a coffee ring stain right here. So it's definitely been read before, so it's not perfect, but good enough. Obviously if I love the series, I'll seek out a better copy, but glad to have it. So I have the second one, and I also was able to find the third one. So I have the whole trilogy, so at some point I can dive into the entire trilogy of them. That kind of grimdark horror, which I've never really read grimdark horror, but I think I'll like it. I know, fantasy is something I've been intending to dive into for a long time, and I keep putting it off. One of these days I'm gonna have to just like dedicate a month of reading just to reading the fantasy books that I have, but we will see. There's obviously a lot of books that are also vying for my attention, and that's it really. So these are the used books that I have picked up over the past month or so. Maybe it's been a little bit more than a month, but I got all these for maybe $1, maybe $2 at most, each one. So yeah, if you've read any of these, love your thoughts. As always, thank you, booktube.